In a stunning turn of events that has left many American lawmakers and citizens reeling, tech billionaire Elon Musk has significantly expanded his influence over the federal government, leading to an outcry from Democrats who are alarmed by what they perceive as a dangerous consolidation of power. Just weeks into President Donald Trump's second term, Musk's maneuvers have raised eyebrows and ignited fears of a constitutional crisis as he appears to operate outside the bounds of traditional governmental oversight. Since taking office, Musk has been appointed as a special government employee, allowing him access to sensitive federal databases while circumventing the more stringent ethical obligations that govern regular federal employees. His role has not only enabled him to gain unprecedented insights into the federal government's operations but has also facilitated his push to streamline and dismantle various agencies. This has included efforts to shutter the United States Agency for International Development (USAID), a key provider of global humanitarian aid, which Musk described as beyond repair. He characterized the agency as a ball of worms, stating, "You've got to basically get rid of the whole thing." Musk's rapid rise within the federal framework has led to significant changes, including the termination of leases on thousands of federal offices and the sidelining of long-standing career officials. This aggressive approach aligns with Trump's broader agenda of slashing government spending and reducing the size of the federal bureaucracy. Republicans have largely defended Musk's actions as a necessary part of Trump's campaign promises, with Trump himself affirming Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval. However, the implications of Musk's actions have sparked fierce backlash from Democratic lawmakers who have accused him of orchestrating a coup from within the government. They have vowed to leverage their limited power to obstruct Trump's agenda, with some even threatening to block cabinet nominations as a form of protest. "We will do everything in our power in the Senate and the House to stop this outrage," declared Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. The sentiment resonates with many Democrats who are rallying in response to what they see as a profound overreach of authority. Protests have erupted across Washington, with demonstrators chanting slogans such as "Elon, Elon, stop the coup," "Nobody elected you." These public outcries reflect a growing unease among citizens regarding the potential for unchecked power and the erosion of democratic norms. As Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer stated, "We must halt this unlawful and dangerous power grab." The controversy surrounding Musk's access to the U.S. Treasury's payment system, which processes over $5 trillion in payments annually, has further intensified concerns. Critics warn that granting Musk such access poses significant risks to the privacy and security of sensitive information, including Social Security payments. "That's the biggest data hack ever in the world," expressed Senator Tammy Baldwin, highlighting the gravity of the situation. In response to these developments, Democrats are mobilizing to introduce legislation aimed at curbing Musk's influence and protecting sensitive government operations. They plan to push for the Stop the Steal Act, which would restrict access to the Treasury payment system for individuals deemed to have conflicts of interest. However, with Republicans holding the majority in Congress, the success of this initiative remains uncertain. As the political landscape evolves, the ramifications of Musk's ascension within the government will undoubtedly be felt for years to come. With both parties entrenched in their positions and the power struggle intensifying, it is clear that the coming months will be critical in determining the balance of influence between corporate interests and democratic governance in the United States. As Musk himself noted, "This is our shot," indicating a readiness to push the limits of his newfound authority. The question now is whether the democratic institutions designed to check such power can effectively respond to this unprecedented challenge. In a political landscape marked by division and controversy, the recent developments surrounding President Donald Trump's administration reveal the complexities and challenges faced by his nominees and proposed policies. Notably, Trump's nomination of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Health Secretary has ignited significant debate, showcasing the intersection of public health, political allegiance, and the ongoing culture wars in America. On February 4, 2025, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an environmental lawyer and a prominent vaccine skeptic, successfully passed a Senate committee vote advancing his nomination to the Senate floor. This pivotal moment came despite Kennedy's history of making unfounded claims linking vaccines to autism, which had raised alarms among both Democrats and some moderate Republicans. Notably, his path to confirmation hinged on the support of key senators, including Bill Cassidy, a physician who initially expressed concerns about Kennedy's past statements. Ultimately, Cassidy backed Kennedy following an endorsement from Trump, who had previously labeled Kennedy as one of the most liberal lunatics ever to run for office. In a post on Truth Social, Trump emphasized the growing prevalence of autism diagnosis among children, framing it as a call to action for Kennedy's appointment. 20 years ago, autism in children was 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 34. Wow! Something's really wrong. We need Bobby. Trump's remarks highlighted his strategy of appealing to his base by positioning Kennedy as a figure who could address what some perceive as a public health crisis. This endorsement signifies Trump's continued influence over the Republican Party, as he seeks to solidify his legacy through appointments that align with his controversial views. However, Kennedy's nomination is fraught with challenges, including allegations of sexual misconduct, conspiracy theories linking COVID-19 to targeted biological warfare, and a history of controversial public statements. Elizabeth Warren, a prominent Democrat, condemned Kennedy's nomination, labeling him an anti-science conspiracy peddler and urging her colleagues to reject the candidacy. The backlash raises critical questions about the implications of appointing a health secretary who may not adhere to established scientific consensus, especially in light of ongoing public health crises. As the Senate prepares to vote on Kennedy's nomination, the broader implications of such an appointment extend beyond individual politics. Should Kennedy secure confirmation, it could embolden similar appointments within the administration, further polarizing public health discourse and intertwining it with partisan politics. This scenario mirrors the historical tensions surrounding health policies, particularly in the context of vaccine hesitancy, which has seen a resurgence amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. In parallel, Trump's administration is also making headlines with its potential plan to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education, a long-standing goal of conservative factions. Reports suggest that Trump is considering an executive order that would eliminate certain programs within the department while redistributing others to different governmental entities. However, abolishing the department entirely would require congressional approval, a formidable challenge given the current political landscape. The Department of Education, established in 1979, plays a critical role in overseeing funding for public schools and administering student loans. Critics of the department, including Trump, argue that it promotes inappropriate content and ideologies in schools, labeling it as a source of indoctrination. Trump's allies advocate for a shift towards increased school choice, allowing families to use public funds for private or religious schooling alternatives. Despite these ambitions, the reality of dismantling the Department of Education remains complex. Legislative hurdles are significant, as previous attempts to abolish the department have failed due to bipartisan opposition. Trump's proposal, while ambitious, underscores the ongoing ideological battle between federal oversight and localized control of education, a debate that has persisted since the department's inception. As the political climate continues to evolve, the upcoming Senate votes on Kennedy's nomination and the potential restructuring of the Department of Education will serve as key indicators of the administration's direction. The outcomes could reshape public health policy and educational governance in ways that reverberate through American society for years to come. With Trump's grip on the Republican Party firmly established, the implications of these developments will likely extend far beyond the current administration, influencing future policy debates and electoral strategies. In a significant political development, the U.S. Senate has confirmed Pam Bondi as the new Attorney General, solidifying her role as a key figure in President Donald Trump's administration. Bondi, who previously served as Florida's Attorney General, was confirmed by a vote of 54 to 46, with all Republican senators supporting her nomination and only Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman crossing party lines to vote in favor. This confirmation marks a pivotal moment as Trump's administration continues to navigate controversies surrounding the Justice Department, especially in light of ongoing legal challenges stemming from the 2020 election. During her confirmation hearing, Bondi faced scrutiny from Democrats who expressed concerns about her commitment to upholding the independence of the Justice Department. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island articulated these fears, noting that Bondi's evasive responses regarding the legitimacy of the 2020 election raised real concern. In a robust statement, Whitehouse pointed out she couldn't say obvious things like, "Did President Biden win the 2020 election? That's an easy answer, yes he did, sir or ma'am. Super simple." When she can't say that, that's a sign. Bondi's supporters, however, have touted her qualifications and past performance in office. Senate Judiciary Committee Chair Chuck Grassley criticized Democrats for their opposition, suggesting that it reflects a broader intent to block Trump's nominees for partisan reasons. Grassley stated, "If my colleagues won't cross the aisle for this qualified nominee, they'll show that they're intent on opposing President Trump's picks for purely partisan reasons." Senate Majority Leader John Thune echoed this sentiment, asserting that Bondi is committed to restoring the Justice Department's core mission of safeguarding public safety and prosecuting crime. As Attorney General, Bondi steps into a role that has become increasingly contentious under Trump's presidency, particularly given the former president's ongoing legal battles, including investigations into his actions post-election and the handling of classified documents. Trump, who has publicly criticized the Justice Department for what he perceives as bias against him and his associates, indicated that Bondi would be instrumental in addressing these issues. He characterized her appointment as a necessary move to end the weaponization of the department against Republicans. Bondi's confirmation comes alongside the advancement of other controversial nominees from Trump's cabinet, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Health Secretary and Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. Kennedy's nomination has also faced bipartisan skepticism due to his previous comments on vaccines, while Gabbard has been questioned about her past positions on government surveillance and her refusal to label whistleblower Edward Snowden a traitor. Both nominees are expected to proceed to full Senate votes in the coming days. The political landscape is poised for further contention as the newly confirmed officials take their posts, particularly given the backdrop of Trump's legal challenges and his administration's continuing focus on reshaping federal agencies. As Bondi and her fellow appointees begin their tenures, the implications of their leadership on U.S. domestic policy and the integrity of the Justice Department will undoubtedly be closely monitored. With the 2024 presidential election approaching, the dynamics within the administration, coupled with external pressures, will play a critical role in shaping the future of American governance. In a fervent discussion on the challenges facing the Democratic Party, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries articulated the pressing need for accountability among Republicans during his recent appearance on The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell. As the political landscape in Washington evolves, Jeffries underscored the Democratic commitment to countering what he described as the far-right extremism propagated by former President Donald Trump and his allies. The conversation, which took place amid ongoing legislative negotiations, highlighted the limited power wielded by the minority party in the House of Representatives. "You can introduce legislation, but it's impossible for you to get bills passed," O'Donnell noted, emphasizing the uphill battle faced by Democrats. In response, Jeffries explained that despite these constraints, Democrats would strategically leverage upcoming budget discussions, particularly as the March 14 spending deadline approaches. "We have made clear to our Republican colleagues that they have to respect Congress's ability to appropriate funds," he stated, asserting the importance of holding the executive branch accountable for its fiscal responsibilities. Jeffries' comments also addressed the broader implications of the current political climate, particularly the unprecedented nature of confronting a president who seemingly disregards legal norms. He indicated that Democrats would continue to collaborate with legal advocacy groups to mount a robust litigation strategy against what they perceive as unlawful executive actions. There are more than 20 different lawsuits currently filed challenging at least 11 of the unlawful executive orders, he revealed, illustrating the party's proactive stance in defending democratic principles. The discussion also touched on the precarious balance of power in the House, where Republicans hold the narrowest majority since the Great Depression. Jeffries pointed out that a mere 3 Republican votes could align with Democrats to thwart extreme measures, emphasizing the need for accountability among those in swing districts. "We've got to make sure that on every issue Republicans are held to account," he urged, highlighting the significance of safeguarding critical social programs like Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. As the political landscape continues to shift, Jeffries's remarks reflect a broader strategy to harness public sentiment in favor of Democratic initiatives. He invoked Abraham Lincoln's assertion that public sentiment is everything, suggesting that the party must not only resist extremism but also reshape the narrative to galvanize support among the electorate. In conclusion, as Democrats prepare for crucial budget negotiations and potential legislative battles ahead, Jeffries's commitment to accountability and strategic collaboration signals a determined effort to navigate the complexities of a divided Congress. With the specter of upcoming elections looming, both parties will undoubtedly be closely monitoring public sentiment and the evolving dynamics that could shape the legislative agenda in the months to come. In the tumultuous landscape of American governance, a series of bold actions taken by President Donald Trump and influential figures like Elon Musk has sparked a clarion call for a re-examination of the rule of law in the United States. The recent revelations about the unprecedented maneuvers to undermine established governmental protocols have left many questioning whether the foundational principle that the law is king still holds true. As we navigate through a governing crisis intertwined with constitutional challenges, the implications of these actions extend far beyond political theater, threatening to reshape the very fabric of American democracy. In what can only be described as a lightning assault on federal institutions, Musk's administration has targeted the U.S. Agency for International Development (USAID), a critical player in humanitarian efforts worldwide. His aides reportedly seized control of the agency, freezing foreign aid that supports vital services such as medical care and refugee assistance. Musk's declaration that USAID is a criminal organization, coupled with President Trump's dismissal of its leadership as radical lunatics, has raised alarms about the legality of these actions. USAID, established by Congress as an independent entity in 1998, cannot be dismantled or restructured at the whim of a billionaire advisor. This assault on USAID is merely one facet of a broader pattern of legal transgressions. Within his first weeks in office, Trump has attempted to freeze approximately $1 trillion in federal grants and loans, claiming a need to halt what he termed Marxist equity initiatives. Such a freeze not only violates constitutional provisions that grant Congress the power of the purse but also threatens essential funding for education and healthcare. Historical precedent reminds us that Richard Nixon faced significant backlash for similar overreach, leading to the enactment of the Impoundment Control Act of 1974, which was designed to restrict presidential spending discretion. Moreover, Trump has issued controversial executive orders that further blur the lines of legality. An executive order attempting to end birthright citizenship was swiftly blocked by a federal judge who denounced it as blatantly unconstitutional. The president's pattern of firing inspectors general without congressional notice or justification has alarmed legal experts, highlighting a troubling disregard for established checks and balances. The administration's actions have not gone unnoticed by federal courts, which have begun to push back against these egregious violations of law. However, the ultimate test will come from public sentiment. As journalist Chris Hayes aptly noted, America currently finds itself in a transitional phase, with the repercussions of these unlawful maneuvers just beginning to unfold. The stock market has reacted negatively and essential services face increasing strain, raising the stakes for the administration as it loses favor with the populace. While the executive branch flexes its muscles, Republican lawmakers in Tennessee have taken a similarly aggressive stance by introducing legislation that directly challenges the Supreme Court's decision in Plyler v. Doe. This bill seeks to allow school districts to deny enrollment to undocumented students, marking a significant departure from established legal precedent that mandates access to public education for all children, regardless of immigration status. The proponents of this bill argue that it is a necessary measure to protect educational resources for legal residents, yet opponents contend it is fundamentally unconstitutional and a distraction from addressing systemic issues within the education system. As these developments unfold, the ACLU has voiced its concern over the misuse of executive orders, asserting that they can both uphold and undermine civil liberties. Historically, executive orders have been used to effect significant policy changes, sometimes for the better, as in the case of the Emancipation Proclamation, but they can also lead to detrimental consequences, as seen in the forced internment of Japanese Americans during World War II. The lawfulness of many of Trump's orders is being challenged in court, reflecting a deepening legal crisis that may have lasting implications for civil rights. As America grapples with these profound governance challenges, the stakes have never been higher. The current trajectory suggests an ongoing conflict between the executive branch's desire for unchecked power and the foundational principles of democracy that rely on accountability and the rule of law. The coming weeks and months will be critical in determining how these legal battles unfold and whether public opinion will galvanize a robust defense of democracy against those who seek to redefine it through unilateral actions. Only time will tell if the forces of accountability can rise to meet the challenges posed by an administration willing to test the limits of its power.